We've all felt it, haven't we? That moment when it feels like everything's just stalled. Maybe you missed that vital deadline, or you didn't land the client you were absolutely certain was yours.
Right. Or maybe it's bigger than that.
Yeah, perhaps it's a more pervasive, almost invisible sense of being lost, like you've hit a wall, a dead end,
Yeah.
total trapdoor.
Yeah, that trapdoor feeling, it's incredibly common.
I mean, for anyone who's ever tried to build something, create something, or even just navigate everyday life, it can feel really profoundly isolating.
And that very feeling, that perceived dead end, is precisely what we're going to reframe today.
Okay.
We're pulling insights from a stack of sources that tell us where you are right now isn't a trapdoor pulling you down. It's actually, well, it's a launch pad designed to propel you forward.
A launch pad, not a trapdoor. I like that.
Exactly. This period of feeling stuck isn't usually a sign of failure. Our research suggests it's often a crucial phase, maybe stabilizing.
Stabilize.
Yeah. Or, as some of the materials put it rather bluntly, getting feedback that life didn't sugarcoat, which is, a vital part of growth.
Okay, let's dive deep into this then. Our mission today is to unpack this universal feeling, understand why our brains sometimes put us in this holding pattern, and crucially, discover practical, science-backed strategies to build momentum and actually move forward.
Let's do it.
And to kick us off, I've often wondered about a peculiar phenomenon, and I'm curious if you've experienced this too.
Go on.
You think about buying a specific car, say a red one, and suddenly you start seeing red cars everywhere.
Yes. All the time.
On every street and every parking lot. It's uncanny, right? What exactly is going on there?
It's a perfect illustration of what psychologists call the frequency illusion, sometimes referred to as the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon.
Frequency illusion. Okay.
It's not that there are suddenly more red cars on the road. It's that your brain's selective attention, now primed by your thought, makes you notice them far more often.
So your brain's filtering differently.
Exactly. And this same cognitive mechanism applies directly to our emotional and mental states. If you're convinced nothing is working for you, your brain will dutifully scan your environment and highlight every single piece of evidence that confirms that belief.
It finds the proof.
It finds the proof. Conversely, if you manage to shift your belief to thinking things are moving in your favor, you'll start noticing all those affirmative signs instead. What you consciously choose to focus on literally becomes your perceived reality.
Wow.
It shapes what you remember, how you interpret events. It's why if you encounter someone who smiles back and someone who doesn't, you'll often disproportionately remember the one that aligns with your current mental framework.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So if our focus is shaping our reality, what's the very first practical step we can take to consciously shift that focus and, get unstuck? I know for many, the natural inclination is to wait for that burst of motivation, that lightning bolt of enthusiasm before taking action. Is that the right approach?
Far from it, actually. That's one of the biggest myths that holds people back.
Really?
Yeah, our sources are very clear on this. People who actually make progress act even when they don't feel motivated. The science consistently shows that action creates motivation, not the other way around.
Action creates motivation.
It does. This is beautifully explained by something called the Zeigarnik effect.
Zeigarnik.
Yeah, named after Russian psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik. She observed that people remember unfinished tasks far better than completed ones.
Okay.
What happens is that starting a task, even imperfectly, creates a kind of mental tension or an open mental loop in your brain that actively compels you to finish it.
Like an itch you have to scratch.
Exactly. It's incredibly difficult to initiate something sometimes, but once you've begun, it becomes significantly easier to keep going because your brain is already committed to closing that loop.
That's a truly counterintuitive thought, that action creates the feeling we thought we needed before the action. So for someone who's feeling completely drained, what's the absolute smallest step they can take to even begin that process, to sort of trick their brain with this Zeigarnik effect?
Right. The goal isn't to finish the entire project, not at all. It's simply to initiate that mental loop.
Okay.
So think incredibly small. It could be setting a 3-minute timer and just working for those 3 minutes.
Just 3 minutes.
Or simply opening the document you've been dreading. Maybe it's doing one push-up or writing just one sentence.
Wow, okay. That feels manageable.
These seemingly insignificant actions reduce the perceived size of the insurmountable task and kickstart the brain's commitment.
And that's so freeing because, let's be honest, that first thing you make, whether it's your first video, your first post, your first draft of an idea, it probably won't be great.
usually isn't.
And that's perfectly okay. The key, as you say, is just movement.
Just movement.
It often feels like we're competing against others who seem effortlessly ahead, but the truth is, they're often not better or more talented. They just started earlier.
Precisely. They just got going sooner. And we often get trapped by swinging between two extremes, right? They're doing absolutely nothing because we feel everything's against me, or trying to do everything perfectly, which just leads to paralysis.
The perfection trap. Yeah.
The consistent advice across our sources is, stop looking for motivation. Simply start small. Stop waiting for perfection. Embrace the messy first step.
Start messy. I like that.
Rather than holding out for absolute clarity, just get into motion and confidence. It's a passenger, not a prerequisite jump in anyway.
Don't wait to feel confident.
Nope. And crucially, don't wait for the timing to feel right. Simply begin where you are.
Okay. Speaking of things that get our brains stuck, have you ever felt like your mind is just going round and round in circles?
Oh, absolutely.
Overthinking and analyzing everything to the point of complete mental clutter.
It's a classic symptom of feeling stuck, that endless hamster wheel of thought. But here's the fascinating part. Physical movement can profoundly shift this.
Moving your body helps your mind.
Yeah, it really does. Harvard Medical School research, among other studies, shows that repetitive physical actions, things like walking, cleaning, even showering, activate your default mode network.
Default mode network? What's that?
It's the part of your brain that lights up when you're resting or mind wandering. Activating it allows for diffused thinking.
Like letting your mind wander freely.
Exactly. And that often leads to those unexpected aha moments. It helps connect seemingly unrelated ideas, improves problem solving, and it calms that incessant mental noise.
That's why those simple, almost pointlessly physical actions can be so powerful, like folding laundry, washing dishes, or taking a walk around the block without your phone or a podcast.
Yes, unplugged. It's that counterintuitive wisdom. When your mind is stuck, move your body.
And when your body is stuck, move your mind.
Exactly. You don't need to wait for your mind to move or for motivation to strike first. The physical act itself helps get you out of the rut.
So even after a breakup or a big career disappointment.
Yeah, or just a day where your energy feels impossibly low. That simple act of physical motion can be the catalyst you need to unstick your mind.
Okay, but even when we're ready to act, another paralyzer often kicks in. The elusive right time.
Ah, yes, the right time.
We ask ourselves, is the market too saturated? Have I missed my window? How do you advise navigating that internal question?
Look, the firm, unequivocal answer from every source we looked at is, there isn't one.
No right time.
Nope. As the beautiful proverb goes, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago.
And the next best time is today.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's true.
I can personally relate to this. When I started creating content around 2016, I remember feeling like I was 5 years behind the early YouTubers.
Feeling late already.
Totally. Yeah. And then when I started this deep dive back in 2019, people told me it was too saturated because there were already 700,000 podcasts.
700,000.
Now there are over 5 million. It just goes to show you that things will always feel more saturated or competitive later than they do right now. Always. And the science supports this too. Confidence develops through experience.
It's not preparation.
Not just preparation.
Yeah.
Your brain builds certainty from doing, not from waiting around for some perfect moment to arrive. It's a feedback loop. Action fuels confidence, which fuels more action.
So instead of asking, is this the right time? It sounds like a more actionable question for you, the listener, is what's one move I can make in the next 10 minutes?
Yes, exactly that.
That could be sending one email, recording a quick draft on your phone, or filling out that first page of a form, just that small, imperfect first step.
Spot on, because readiness is not a requirement, it's a result.
Readiness is a result. Okay.
We've been culturally conditioned, haven't we, that good things come to those who wait. But the evidence suggests that actually good things come to those who move, who ask, who try, who don't just wait for their turn.
Takes initiative.
Right. Waiting for some miraculous alignment only leads to more competition because everyone else will be waiting for that same perceived perfect moment. It actually makes it harder to stand out when you finally do decide to move.
That makes so much sense. So if readiness isn't a requirement, what about those nagging thoughts? You know, when we do put ourselves out there and then see someone else who we might even feel is, frankly, less talented, seemingly soar past us.
Correct. Yeah, that's a frustrating experience, isn't it?
Totally.
But here's the truth our sources reveal. Successful people often didn't just sit on the sidelines. They didn't quit. They simply kept going. When others, sometimes those who are maybe more naturally talented, stepped away.
So persistence beats talent.
Often, yes. Research, like the really influential work on grit by Dr. Angela Duckworth, tracked students over decades.
All right, I know her work.
And found that grit, basically passion and perseverance toward long-term goals, was a more reliable predictor of success in academic and professional settings than raw IQ scores. It emphasizes that deliberate, sustained effort yielded stronger outcomes than raw talent.
It's like simple math, really.
Yeah.
If your raw talent is, say, a 5 out of 10, but your consistency is a 10 out of 10, that averages out higher than someone whose talent is a 9 out of 10, but their commitment is only a 2 out of 10.
Exactly. You just out-average them with consistent effort. As Zig Ziglar famously said, you don't have to be great to start.
But you have to start to be great. Love that.
It's so true. The pressure of perfection is a huge paralyzer. It stops us from making consistent progress, forces us to stay stuck rather than discovering our genius through the act of just doing consistently.
And linked to that is one of the most disheartening myths of all. I missed my chance.
Oh, that one's tough.
That feeling of that could have been me, or I wish I didn't give up then. It's incredibly powerful and frustrating, isn't it?
It truly is a myth designed to keep us small. Life rarely moves in straight lines. There are always new entry points.
Always.
Pretty much. In fact, there was a Yale study on nonlinear careers that found that people who start later in life often outperform early starters in long-term fulfillment and career satisfaction.
Get out.
Why is that?
Because they bring a richness of diverse experiences, a more mature perspective maybe, to their pursuits. They've learned things along the way.
That's a profound reframing then. You didn't miss your shot. You just needed to stop aiming at someone else's timeline.
Exactly. You weren't too late. You just needed to stop focusing on other people's doors and find your own.
Find your own door.
And that ties into a beautiful quote attributed to Imam al-Shafi. My heart is at ease. Knowing what was meant for me will never miss me, and that which misses me was never meant for me.
That's powerful.
Your current experiences, your unique talents, the resilience you've built right up to this moment. That's the exact cocktail that you need to create the future you want. Not some past version of yourself, but the you who is listening right now.
Okay. Here's another common trap, though. We say, I feel stuck, but that's often too vague to be helpful, isn't it? Very vague.
Secretly, we might feel overwhelmed or afraid to fail, or maybe constantly comparing ourselves to everyone else. Can you relate to that, listener?
It's a very common experience. When we just say, I'm stuck, it's like we're caught in this dense fog.
Yeah.
But there's a powerful scientific principle here called affect labeling.
Affect labeling.
Yeah, naming your emotions.
Yeah.
Giving them a specific label like, I'm feeling overwhelmed by the sheer volume of tasks, or I'm afraid of rejection, or I'm consumed by comparison, actually reduces activity in the amygdala.
The fear center.
The fear center, yeah. And it allows your prefrontal cortex, the rational decision-making hub, to regain control from that emotional hijack.
So naming it calms it down.
Basically, yes. It gives you back some control.
So a practical exercise for you listening. Open your notes app or a journal and complete this sentence. Right now, I feel stuck because...
Be specific.
Then take it a step further and ask yourself, is this about a lack of clarity, a lack of confidence, or maybe a lack of control?
It's like being lost while driving without Wi-Fi, right? Saying, I'm stuck is useless.
Right.
But if you can identify your exact intersection, see specific landmarks, you can pinpoint where you are, and crucially, start to strategize your way out. You can't fix what you won't name.
You can't fix what you won't name. Okay. And finally, let's try and make peace with the plateau.
The plateau, yeah.
We often view these periods of stuckness or frustration as a bad thing, almost like a failure in progress.
But neuroscience shows us that these periods of frustration or even boredom often precede breakthroughs.
Really? They come before the good stuff.
Often. This isn't just downtime. It's potentially a critical phase of latent learning, where your subconscious is processing and integrating information, setting the stage for a sudden leap forward.
Like the brain reorganizing itself.
Kind of. It's much like a caterpillar dissolving into goo before emerging as a butterfly seemingly doing nothing, but undergoing profound transformation internally.
Okay, so instead of despairing in these plateaus, what 2 powerful questions should we be asking ourselves?
Ask yourself, what's the skill or mindset I'm being forced to build right now?
Okay.
And what is the skill I'm missing between where I am and where I want to be? For example, if you're not getting that promotion, maybe it's not about your core job skills, but about public speaking or negotiation or networking.
Identifying the gap.
Exactly. Then, to truly reframe it, try writing down 3 ways this stuck season might actually be strengthening you for what comes next.
And if you can do that, it's about profoundly relabeling your experience. So you're not stuck, you're stabilizing.
You're not broken. You're piecing things back together in a new way.
You're not lost.
You're stepping away from paths that weren't for you.
You're not behind.
You're moving at the speed of healing.
You're not failing.
You're getting feedback that life didn't sugarcoat.
And you're most definitely not too late.
You're right where your next chapter starts.
Okay, that's a powerful set of reframes. For our last point, let's talk about shrinking the vision.
Shrinking the vision. Interesting.
We're always told to think big, right? And for some people, that works. It's motivating.
It excites them.
But for others, thinking too big can lead straight to overwhelm and feeling incredibly stuck.
That's because, as our sources highlight, there are truly 2 types of people. Those motivated by the grand vision and those motivated by small, achievable steps.
You need to know which one you are.
Exactly. It's crucial to have that self-awareness. Research on goal gradients, that psychological principle where our motivation intensifies as we perceive ourselves getting closer to a reward, shows that people are far more likely to keep going when they experience quick early wins.
Little victories.
Little victories. The brain needs small amounts of proof and evidence that what you're doing is actually working.
So instead of asking that often paralyzing question, what is my purpose? A more effective and actionable question might be, what's one thing I can finish today that moves me an inch closer to where I want to go?
Yes. Perfect. An inch is enough. And that can be something as concrete and small as making your bed.
Seriously, making your bed.
Absolutely. Or answering one email, drinking a glass of water, writing the first sentence of that proposal, or just getting through the next hour.
Wow.
The key, in essence, is to shrink the goal. Don't shrink yourself.
Shrink the goal, not yourself. I like that.
Because the powerful truth is, big things don't begin big. They begin when you do.
And that right there feels like the core message of this deep dive. Your current position, no matter how stuck it feels, is a launch pad, not a trap. The power is in understanding your mindset, taking those small, consistent actions, and intentionally reframing your entire journey.
So as you reflect on this deep dive, consider this provocative thought. The unique cocktail of your past experiences, your current skills, and your newfound resilience. That mix is precisely what you need to start your next chapter.
Right now.
Not later, but now.
Right now. This exploration of our sources has shown us that the beginning isn't waiting for permission or perfect conditions or a lightning bolt. It's just waiting for your first move.